Dear Journal, over yonder is Burlington Island, New Jersey. After years of being off limits, it is now open to the public as a nature area, and as these things go, it soon sprouted some caches. On this island, there is rich history. I went to school with Rich before he moved here. Nice guy. Anyway, the island of Pine, as it was called by the local Lenape tribe, became occupied by European settlers in the year of 16XX, complete with a trading post and a fort. Then, 100 or 2 years later, became a beachfront picnic area with a small amusement park. Judging from these pictures I didn't ask for permission to use, I would say it was a pretty happening place to wear your long, uncomfortable clothes at. I like nature, but I wouldn't be sad if they brought this type of thing back. The amusement park, not frumpy, overly modest clothing. Look, they even have a miniature railway. Is it me, or does no one look happy in this picture? Come on, live a little. This is Live a Little, noted miniature railway expert. You think she'd be happy? More recently, the island has been used for mining sand and gravel, creating the lagoon that takes up a third of the landscape, and in current days, volunteers are working hard to remove accumulated trash and debris to make it a bit of lovely that Mother Nature can be proud of again. I visited here once before, but as soon as I landed, I walked along a shoreline trail, getting that life after humans vibe, catching glimpses of things that I'm not sure are original island debris or things that have washed up here, but it really gives the island some flavor. Oh, and in my notes here it says I have to come up with some sort of joke about the kitchen sink. Yeah, I don't know what the voiceover is saying, but come on now. I gotta work in the phrase, including the kitchen sink. Oh, yeah, that's why. Whoops. After that, I quickly grabbed a cache, and then I had to leave for undisclosed reasons. Ooh, mysterious. It wasn't diarrhea. So here we are again today, with me in the mood to find some caches and maybe a slice of history like an arrowhead or someone's secret porno mag stash from the 80s or 90s, you know, proper history stuff. Here's the thing about this island, Journal. Alright, you get on, obviously, I'm not the only one here. But all I have to do is drag my canoe, kayak, whatever, up over this berm. Oh, and there's a lagoon. And I can walk down there, or I can pop into the lagoon. That looks so lovely, it's making me forget about my fear of aquatic cryptozoological creatures that could be lurking about. This shouldn't be extraordinarily difficult. Now that I'm in here, there are 2 things I'm trying not to think about while in this lagoon. 3 things, if you count, I have made a mistake in leaving the house, but that's generally always there. Number 1. The Delaware River is slave to the tide of the Atlantic Ocean it's connected to for about 130 miles. In fact, in 2005, a beluga whale made it all the way up to Trenton, presumably because his weed dealer was still on house arrest. And quite frankly, if a whale can make it up here, well then so can the Cape Sable serpent. But, Skimbosh, you're on a lagoon, I hear you say, which means it's time to take my medicine. But look at the side cut drawing of the island on the Delaware that I made. Can you believe Mrs. Zadnik only gave me a B+ on this drawing? That crapulent harpy wouldn't know art if it bit her. Art if it bit her, good childhood friend, used to live next to Rich History back in the old neighborhood. Anyway, my drawing illustrates what I imagine the bottom of the lagoon looks like, with access for various cryptoids to drag me down to Davy Jones' locker. Combination 24 left, 5 right, 32 left. Sorry, ran out of funding for the animation. Spend it all on the rights for the rich and art joke. 2, don't forget we're doing sequential thoughts here. 2, submechanophobia, fear of man-made objects underwater. The lagoon, as I said, is man-made, and I feel it's not too much of a stretch of the imagination that the mining company maybe simply pushed some inconvenient trash and old equipment into the big hole they made when they were done, and surprise, surprise, there's a frickin' movie from yesteryear that has filled my imagination hole with disturbing possibilities. Yeah, what the shitballs am I doing out in the water, Oh, on this little piece of industrial plastic, no less. I feel like if I sneeze while leaning the wrong way, I'm going into the drink. Why did I ever think I would enjoy this? Ooh. Yeah, see, no jokes. Too startled by some stick or clawed tentacle dragging across my hull. Is it hull? Keel? I don't know, boat parts. I felt the vibrations on my ass. You know what, let's just get me to land. That should be alright leaving that there, yeah. I mean, it's locked up with a steel wire. What are the chances of somebody coming by and thinking, I'm going to take a joyride, and will I be able to see them because they're going to have to drag it over that berm? Yeah, I know, I'm being paranoid. Let's look at the interesting thing that's over here. Not this campsite. This campsite is shit. Time to cast off the shackles of scared of deep water Skimbosh and transform into confident land-based Skimbosh. If Linus from the Peanuts has his security blanket, I have my customized backpack. The campsite is shit, but there is something on this map I found online that I would like to investigate. It looks a lot like Cooter Fountain? Cooter Fountain? On the map I'm using, this is labeled as Cooter Fountain. Or at least that's what it looks like. I mean, it doesn't look like a Cooter Fountain, it looks like what the word says, but... Journal, I have to interrupt myself, for during editing I realized that probably not everyone everywhere grew up with cooter being slang for vagina. As I was looking up information on which regions or generations would use such non-standard vernacular, I was doing my cooter research, you see. I discovered that what is possibly very common knowledge to everyone else, but well, cooter is a type of turtle. And why am I bringing this all up? It's because I found out cooter turtles are highly omnivorous, and they'll eat anything, plant or animal, dead or alive. It will also enthusiastically chase, kill, and eat small fish. Hey, thanks, Mother Nature. Thanks, MN. It's bad enough. I feel ridiculous with my irrational deep sea fears, but now I have to add the possibility of turtles, who I just assumed were all passive little chumps, eating me if I fall in the water. Death by cooter swarm. Thanks, MN. Sorry, we now return you to your regular entry. Upon some minor research, it turns out this is the base of a carousel that used to be here. And then they moved it to Seaside Heights, so that's pretty fancy. What an interesting tidbit of history, and I believe this image is the carousel with its hand-carved animals as it existed years ago. Could be wrong, don't view my journal for actual facts. This foundation area will make an excellent place to set up with the hammock and the camera for a recording, but first, the curiosity in me needs to see what's up with this box. Oh, it smells pretty bad. Something tells me this open crate's gonna have human feces in it. Hey, you know what? Not worth exploring. Yeah, I wonder if I can find a picture of how this once was. I did pass Skimbosh, I did! You'll see when you reach this point in your timeline. Oh, P.S. when you get here, remove the diarrhea joke from earlier, it's too embarrassing. Well, getting back to the present, the stench from what I now refer to as Schrodinger's feces offset my desire to hang out, so I set off for the southwestern end of the island for caches and a bit of a poke around where the fort from the 1700s would have been. Gonna have to check, do some research. These may or may not be ancient lawnmowers of the Lenni Lenape tribe. No, they gotta do cleanup here. I mean, they've been doing cleanup here. So I imagine they just shove everything to the side till they can get a proper vehicle to come clean it up. Gotta be a pain in the ass clearing out an island. Good work though, it's quite effing lovely. And by F I mean fucking. This is a great spot. Oh, except for that part. Oh, god damn it. Don't see anybody taking my kayak, do you? Oh. You have found a bunch of ropes. Holy shit, did you see Skimbosh's video? Yeah, did you see that part where he found a bag of various small pieces of rope? Hell yeah, that shit was interesting. I'm certainly gonna like and subscribe twice. I'm sorry. There were 2 Terrain 5 watercraft required caches nearby, but for some reason I was convinced I could find them on foot at low tide. Duh. I could not. I made it to the tip of the island in the area that would have given the Dutch the best command of who was coming up the river, especially if they were foolish enough to cross at the Burlington-Bristol Bridge. A couple of things: this island is the first in for New Jersey. Number 1, the first European settlement in what would become New Jersey. Number 2, first African slaves to be brought to New Jersey was here. Don't look at me, it wasn't my idea, I didn't sign off on that. Number 3, first recorded murder in New Jersey. 2 Lenape murdered 2 Dutchmen, and in order to preserve the peace, the Lenape chief told the Dutch trademasters, "I don't want to mess nothing up with this good thing we got going here with the trading post. It's good for you, it's good for me. Tell you what, I'll take care of it." Little known fact is most Lenny Lenape had an exaggerated Italian stage accent. So, they threw a party, and when the lads were living it up, the chief surprised them with a beating to death. Ranked by Martha Stewart as one of the worst party themes for the 1700s, along with the themes "I've Got the Fever," "The Scarlet Fever," and "Night Under the Stars," which is mostly the same as all the other nights we spend here. The mighty Amazon! Shipping center! Oh. Slippery. Journal, I'm about to get the reverse Where I Go cache that I didn't solve. Maybe I shouldn't spoil it since I didn't actually solve the cache. I just put it in a checker. Yeah, that's the one I confessed to on this very island. Yeah, you know what? What is the difference between an island and an isle? Says here, island can be traced back to Old English Eigland, composed of 2 elements, eig and land. Land, as we might expect, means land, but eig means island in Old English. In a sense, then, Eigland is island land. The English isle, on the other hand, is derived through medieval French from the Latin insula. Well, that certainly clears things up. Turns out I didn't feel as dirty as I thought I would finding the cache from the reverse Where I Go I cheated at. I say cheated, but that implies there's some sort of penalty lurking around the corner for doing what I did, and I don't think there is. I got my name on the log, and that is the whole of the law, right? Right? If the CO somehow magically sees this video and is watching right now, hey, it's nothing personal, I just didn't want to do the work needed to solve this yet still reap the benefits. There is some sort of shack here, and I think my map says it's a ranger station, boo-boo. It doesn't look like a current ranger station, though. But, as I am prone to mention, there's a lot of bleed over in geocaching with urban exploration and general curiosity. Well, I'll give it this. It doesn't smell of shit. I come upon a silver-striped mushroom and I fa-la-la-la-la-la. Oh, it's the shitter. Oh. Ouch. Well, that was nothing, but had to satisfy the curiosity. There is a cache this way. Indeed there is, and you're welcome to the handful of people that, like me, knew there was nothing but pointless trash in that little feces-free love shack, but would still need to verify that's the case before moving on. The multi-cache takes you along a nice path of old electricity bits and bobs that, and I'm no expert, probably don't work anymore, and after dealing with stage 1 I set about trying to find the final, with the whole cache being listed as a mere 1.5 difficulty. But what I didn't expect to find that day was lust, as she caressed my ear with her lips, her hair whipping in the breeze like Medusa's snakes, preoccupied and hungry for my denim-clad manliness. Sorry, somehow my other text file that I was working on, separate project you see, it got merged here. Sorry about that. You think Windows 95 would have that solved by now. No more gratuitous mentioning of the crotch. Let's find that cache. Oh, I'm just looking at my crotch, sorry. Oh, fuck me, what the fuck? I mean, I what, Skimbosh? What is it, Skimbosh?
I said, I want the knife.
Yeah, unless I'm out of my mind. That's it, up there, right? Hanging off that weird piece. Yeah! Ow, son of a bitch, that hurt. Oh, maybe. No, shit. Yeah, that's clipped on there. I just spent a considerable amount of time jiggling that around. I can't get that off there if that's clipped on there. What if that's gonna fall the hell over or onto my head? Well, see here, there's nothing in the logs indicating it should be up here. No one going, damn, I had a tough time getting it back in place. You know, maybe it isn't the cache. It has to be the cache. The point is moot. I spent too much time dicking around earlier. I have to get Rowan out of here. Rowan out of here, good friend, like 8 feet tall, owns a pair of yellow stilts. He might be able to get the cache. No, really though, I have to go. So I have to DNF a 1.5 difficulty cache that I can see. And frankly, I've been dreading the small crossing back into Pennsylvania over the Delaware, but obviously I have to do it, and this means transforming back into scared watercraft skimbosh. And why is it so windy out? I was legitimately on edge, Journal. I'm sure those of you experienced in water travel will laugh at these tiny waves, but I was afraid to simultaneously travel perpendicular to them while also breathing, because it just felt tipsy. Well, alright, we went over that. I got back fine, and the next day I queried the CO, who verified that that thing was indeed the cache, just a bit more vertical than they had originally placed. I, of course, was verbose in my response. So that was my trip to Burlington Island, for better or for worse. One cache. Not sure if I'm going back. So this is Skimbosh on behalf of Rich, Art, Liv, and Rowan. Be safe out there, and don't forget to put a twist or two in your tie-down straps. Yeah, definitely gonna need to look up how to keep that from happening. I'm assuming that that's the strap holding the kayak in. When you were younger, did you ever get a piece of grass and put it between your fingers and blow on it and you try to make this noise? Boy, this is a great video, isn't it?